Community feedback. Ben, since I've started on the show, I have learned a lot about pinball. I learned things about pinball that I didn't know I could learn about pinball. Like how there's actual modes with storylines and you evolve through gameplay and it's not just about like whacking and hitting things and then you just arbitrarily get points for them. And that like the setup of all of the mechanisms and angles is much more complicated than I realized. I asked our community members if they had any requests of what kind of theme or gameplay they would want for their mini pinball kit if they were going to customize their own pinball kit once we make ours.
Yeah, because we're going to make like a generic theme and then there's ways people can put customization onto it.
That's the idea.
Right. So what kind of ideas people would have for the customization?
Let's see.
All right, I'd be curious to see how this compares to the full-size pinball community because I definitely know what they're always asking for. Way back in the day, I was pretty much addicted to pinball. One machine that stands out in my memory was Gorgar, the first machine that had speech, as far as I remember. That is correct.
Ooh, nice. 2 points for you.
It was the first well-known machine with speech, definitely.
Okay.
It only had like 8 words. It was like, Gorgar, hurt you. I still like pinball machines better than video games. I just can't afford to buy any of these machines. For a modern machine, how about an Internet of Things programmable themed pinball machine? Oh, so you play the game to surf the web. You could show YouTube snippets off the web or whatever theme you select about the responsive button activity. Yeah. Also, we need to grab musical ditties or riffs or famous phrases or sound bites or exclamations off the web for appropriate sound effects and rewards. It's like the internet. It could just be called the internet.
I like it.
And when you start it, it should be like the modem sound.
The old modem sounds, dial-up.
But you know, that's like when you watch a movie trailer and there's a record scratch sound. It means nothing anymore, but people still know what it means.
What about dial tone? Dial tone is dial tone still a thing?
I think so. Yeah, dial tones are still a thing.
I guess there are still landlines. It's just been a very long time since I've talked to anyone that was on a landline.
Maybe you could load your own MP3 songs. Maybe the whole reward system could be based off a file of internet URLs so anyone can make a custom reward system by simply organizing a bunch of web links into a config file.
Interesting idea.
It could be called Web Explorers. Oh, and then maybe the wizard mode is the dark web.
Well, it sounds like this topic has a lot of potential. So good idea, Doug.
All right, let's see.
What else we got?
Something related to the 1950s to 60s horror movies with giant atomic monsters that need to be destroyed. At first, a small number would walk around the city appearing at random locations that you could kill using simple guns, and then more stronger and stronger monsters would appear, which would require either more shots or stronger shots. So basically a game where you fight atomic monsters. It could be like Atomic Monster Men from Mars.
Why don't you just call it like Atomic Monster Madness? Because why do they have to be from Mars? They're not aliens per se.
Well, Atomic
and also, if they're monsters and they're not men, they're monsters.
And it would sound like Monster Bash and Medieval Madness. So
yeah,
subconsciously people would be like, I think I like that for some reason.
Exactly.
Atomic Monster Madness.
Yeah. What other ideas do they have in there for that?
One thing that I did not have an exact idea for at the moment, but I always wondered why I never saw a game with an LCD screen under the playfield.
Doesn't the new Alien game have that?
It's got it in the playfield.
Well, that's what I think that's what they mean though.
Yeah. Well, there's also that P3 game where like the whole playfield has the LCD under it. So it changes and it can actually track the ball. So as the ball flies over, it'll like make like smoke trails and whatnot for it.
That's cool.
Well, we're gonna make a fairly simple pinball kit, but the idea is
infinitely customizable.
Well, I don't know.
And by infinitely, I mean like this much.
But what we want to do is analyze the ball's motion in the sample rig that we're building, which is like, what, about 20 by 9? And then figure out the best place to put things, and then we'll have something modular, there's some sort of modularity we'll build in so people can like plug things. And I don't want to say like Legos, but kind of like posts. It's like, you can put this here and you can rotate it, or there's another place you can put it, and then people can, we give them a blank piece, and maybe there's holes in the playfield that can knock them out, and then they can put their thing there, and they only knock out the holes they want. You know, kind of like how a junction box has all those holes in it, and you only knock out the ones you want for the conduit, like that.
Not bad.
So yeah, we're working on ideas for our custom pinball. I think what would be really useful is if people gave us ideas on what sort of things we should put in it. Like, what should the kit contain? Should there be like a pop bumper or a ramp? Like, what sort of pieces would you like to use to design your custom game?
Well, not everyone is as familiar with pinball games as you are, Ben. So maybe go to your local game store, find a pinball game you like, and look at the mechanisms that are in there that you enjoy, and then tell us about that on the Element 14 community.